Blog Talk Radio. Well, good morning, my Daily Dose crew. This is your host, Gina Cherie. Happy Saturday, everyone. We finally made it to the weekend. I don't know about you, but my week has been long. So I was super excited when 7 o'clock hit last night, and I was able to get off of my feet and enjoy my weekend. I really don't have a lot of plans for the weekend, but I do plan on resting. So welcome back to the Daily Dose, you guys. We are going to do about 45 minutes in the studio today, and I kept trying to figure out what we're going to talk about today. So I decided today that we're going to do a recap of some of our episodes and just go over a few of our books that has been introduced that we've been reading from and helping us heal and grow along our journey. If you guys follow the show, you guys know I'm all about positive affirmations and growing and helping us become the men and women that God has created us to be. Everybody's been through a lot in life, and I honestly believe that everyone deserves to have peace and happiness, especially if you are yearning for it and you're doing your best to learn from your past mistakes and take accountability for the part that we played in, right? And so I feel like if you are trying and you are actively seeking peace and in your life, and I think everybody deserves that. So that's what we're all about here on this station. We give words of encouragement, words of affirmation. We give prayer when it's needed just to help us get through our day and our weeks and things of that nature. So we're going to continue that. But for all the new listeners and people that haven't been listening, I just want to go over some of our episodes and things that we have already spoken about, and go over our books. We got quite a few of them, you guys, so don't let it be overwhelming. You don't have to go out and get every single book that we have already introduced, but I just want to give it to you guys so that if you are curious on reading it, you can do so by going and purchasing them. Most of them can be found on the good old Google, and I know I told you guys that some of these books have been found at the 5 and below. Okay, so our last episode, we talked about conflict and how do we resolve conflict and staying godly, right? Because sometimes when we get upset, our flesh takes over and we are no longer acting in the spirit. We are now acting in the flesh. So we went over some things with that. So we're going to do a quick recap of that, and let's see. How does the Bible tell us about handling conflict? One of the readings that we got from Galatians 3:13 Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgives you. To bear with the means is to give lots of grace and not to be easily offended. And forgive whatever grievances you have, regardless of how offended you are or how right you are. So that's, you can read further into that in Galatians 3:13. And then it gave these 7 steps to resolving the conflict according to the Bible. One of them is take the first step, be bold and willing to talk with someone about the conflict between you. Ask God for his wisdom. Begin with your part. Listen to their hurt and their perspective. Speak the truth tactfully. Work on the problem. Don't figure out the blame, and focus on reconciliation. So those were 7 ways that you can do the conflict. And then it also says, we spoke about pray about the conflict you are having before you address it with the other person, but go into prayer humbly. Ask God to show you where you went wrong. Ask for wisdom to help you identify the parts of the conflict that you own and work on those things before and talk to the person. I think that's really, really good because once we are upset and our flesh takes over, we just attempt to say whatever we want and whatever is on our mind, and we're not thinking to the fact if we're hurting somebody with our words. And a lot of times words can and will sting, and people will remember the things that you have said. I don't care if it's 10 years ago, 20 years ago. They will remember. They may not remember everything that you did, but they will remember things that you said that hurt them to their core. Trust me, I know. Things that were said to me when I was younger, till this day, I can recount the things that were said. I can tell you exactly where I was. I can tell you exactly what I was doing in that moment where things were said to me that shook me to my core. So we have a tendency to hold on to the words, and the power, the life and death is in the power of the tongue. So we not only have to be careful on the things that we speak over us, but the things that we allow to come out of our mouth that may hinder and hurt someone else. So pray about it. And I know sometimes where we are upset with people, we do not want to talk to them in that moment, right? Like we don't pray for somebody that we're upset with. And I think that's one of the hardest things that I had to learn to do is to pray when somebody upsets me, or even when we have an enemy, people that we do not like, we have to pray for them. So I'm still learning. I know it's a process, and I know I'm not the only one out there. So we went over that in one episode. Another episode that we talked about is not settling for the bare minimum. And I think that a lot of us are still learning not to settle for toxic behavior, toxic relationships. And I don't care what type of relationship it is, husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, sisters, brothers, cousins, whatever relationship that is bringing you toxicity. You guys heard me talk about this in prior shows. I need you to unplug and plug in somewhere else, because we only have this one life, and we do not have time to deal with people that are toxic, that do not want to change, and bring misery wherever we go, especially if we are trying to work on ourselves and heal ourselves. And it's like that toxic nature is pulling us backwards, right, when we're trying to go forward. So you guys heard me say plenty of times, if you are dealing with somebody that is toxic, negative, that doesn't want to change, then they're comfortable, I need you to find someone else. I need you to find other people to be around, people that can pour into you, can love on you, that you can love on them as well. People that are about positivity, people that like to take accountability for the things that they have said and done. And that's not always the case. We did speak about not blaming others within that settling. I feel like and that goes into another topic about forgiving ourselves, right? I think that we put a lot of blame on others, and then we accept that, and then we're comfortable in that state where we are living, I would say living in a lie, because you're not living in your truth if you are accepting that and laying down with that it's always someone else's fault. It's always someone else's issue. This is the reason why I'm like this, is because what somebody else did, and we're not taking accountability for ourselves. But it goes further than that. When we are talking about not settling for the bare minimum, there's so many of us that have such a calling on our life, that have talent and things of that nature that we can offer. And I feel like if we are not operating in our greatness and what God, the ability that God has given us, I feel like we are settling for a lesser life than we deserve. Once we figure out what God has for us and we stay in that alignment with Him, I feel like we are now able to operate in our greatness and not settle for the bare minimum. I hear a lot of people that talk to me and they say that they don't like the job that they're in. They don't like how much they're getting paid. They don't like this or don't like that. And all I keep hearing is that they're settling. Well, now we got to figure out why you are settling. Why do you think that you're not good enough to go after your dream, to go after a better job, and to do things? And I know some of you are thinking, like, I can't make a move like this because I have children. I can't do this because of this. I have bills, yada, yada, yada. Like, I get it. And I understand life be lifing sometimes. But I also understand standing on God's word and standing in faith and going out and believing that there's something better out there for you, for your life. And we have to come to that. It's a mind thing for me. And if you guys want to add to this conversation, you guys definitely can. But for me, it's a mind thing. Faith over fear, right? You guys hear me say that all the time, faith over fear. And it's a mind thing. If you believe that you can, you will. If you believe that you don't deserve love, if you believe that you don't deserve that raise, or you don't deserve to be in that limelight, or write that book, open that business, then you're operating on fear and you're not operating on faith. And those two things will leave you, the one thing will leave you stuck. And then you'll be looking around at other people and you'll be wondering, why not me? And what you have not realized is you're allowing your fear and you are allowing your insecurities to hold you back. And you're not standing on God's word and the faith that you have in Him to take you where the ability He has. I've done on fear. After my avoiding a single parent and operating on fear, and just knowing that, like, I got bills to pay, I have to take care of. I can't do this, I can't do that. But I also have learned how to just take a chance, just jump out there. I didn't have a safety net. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I jumped out there, and I managed to open up businesses. I managed to start a makeup line. I managed to even start the radio show. I picked up and left. I didn't even tell. I remember maybe I can count on one hand how many people knew that I was going to leave my state of Arizona. So, and I just operated on faith, and I knew that's where I was going. Nobody was stopping me. I didn't know what was lying before me. I didn't know what was coming, but I operated on faith, and I did, and I left. The journey had its up and downs. But I don't regret anything. And as I'm rediscovering who I am, and I'm walking in faith, and I'm beginning to understand how easy it is to trust God and just to take that leap, knowing that He's beside me, He's in front of me, He's above me, like He's all around, right? And He's going to carry us. And if it aligns with what He has for me to do, then I have nothing to worry about, right? And I'm also learning not to make a move without seeking God first and checking in with Him is the easiest way to say. I check in, and ideas may sound good. A lot of times we get excited about ideas, and we just jump out there and we just give it a chance, right? But sometimes it's safer for me to check in with God first and make sure that this is God sent, and that it's going to keep me operating in an alignment in what He has for me and over my life. So we have some repeat after me's in there, and my cousin, and I don't even want to say cousin, she's more like a sister to me. She called me one day and was like, how are we supposed to do repeats after me if you are like blowing through them so quickly? Like, we can't keep up. You got to slow down. And so I am now slowing down on the repeat after me's. But the repeat after me's are really, really a good way to give yourself some encouragement. And you just never know how something that seems very small can have a good impact on your life. And I like repeat after me. I like to give those words of affirmations. So one of the repeat after me that we put on the show was, I am no longer going to live in fear, speak negatively about myself and others, blame myself for past mistakes, downplay my ability and talents, cheat myself, lie to myself, live in denial, feel guilty for the things that are not my fault, procrastinate, worry about things I have no control over, suffocate my feelings and emotions, put roadblocks in my path, make excuses, put myself down. Instead, I'm going to love myself unconditionally and treat myself with the utmost respect because I deserve it. So that was one of our repeat after me, and I really, really like, because it kind of wraps up everything that for the last few episodes that we have been talking about, not living in fear, not speaking negatively about myself and others, blaming myself for past mistakes. And one of our latest episodes that we did talk about forgiving yourself so that you may move on and start the healing process. Because a lot of us were operating in, we couldn't go any further, we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that because of the past mistakes. So I really like what it says here. Downplay my ability and my talent. You guys just heard me say that we have a lot of talents. We have a lot of things that we can offer the world in a positive way, but we have that our mind and our insecurities and our fears are telling us that we cannot operate in that. Feel guilty for things that are not our fault. A lot of us are holding on to things that from when we were children and things that has happened to us as we were adolescents, and we have to learn how to forgive we have to learn how to heal, and we have to learn how to grow, because there's things that have happened to us that we had no control over, and it wasn't our fault. But somehow we took it and we internalized it as if we were the problem, that we created the problem, and we did not. So I really like that. There's a lot of repeat after me's that throughout the show. If you guys go back and listen to some of the episodes. And then I like to add prayer. So we added a prayer to deal with anger and have control over that. We also added one for be patient with yourself as you're growing and healing on this journey. Whether it's in prayer or it's in a poetry form or just words of affirmation, I think that is really good for us to continue doing those things on a daily basis. And it changes our mind frame. It changes the way that we think, the way that we see things, the way that we speak. And speaking over things has a lot to do with the way that we feel about ourselves and the way that we are acting. If I'm always speaking in a negative tone and I always see the glass half empty and not half full, that speaks a lot on how we feel about ourselves. So I like to remind us, and I want you guys to have a clear understanding that the things that I do speak about is not just for the audience, it's actually for me as well. Things that I have gone through, things that I am going through, things that I am still learning. So I tell you guys all the time, we're all in this together. I can learn from my listeners and people around me just as much as you guys can learn from me. So if you guys have books that you guys want to introduce, if you guys have anything that's going to help us on our growing and healing journey, do not hesitate. I give you guys all the information for you guys to email me. You guys can call into the show, and right now my lines are open. We have about 22 minutes left, so my lines are open. 563-999-3642. If you guys, because we're about to get into some of our books that we've been reading, but if you guys want to add to this conversation, and the conversation doesn't have to stop here either. You guys can email me at hostginacherie@gmail.com. You guys can go to my website, ginacherie.com, and you guys can leave me a message there. If you guys don't feel comfortable coming live on air, you guys can send a chat to blogtalkradio.com/GinaCherie, and the chat will bring it up. You don't have to put your name or indulge any of that information, but if you do want to be a part of the conversation or to add to something, you guys can do that there. So the lines will be open for another 10 minutes or so. 563-999-3642. Okay, so get into some of these books, you guys. So I pulled out about four of them. There is another book that we were reading out of, and once I find that book, because it was a really good one, and I know you guys, I don't know where that book is at, but I'm going to find it and I'll put it in the social media handle so you guys can get that, the other book too. But let's start with one of them. Woman, Thou Art Healed and Whole, a 90-day devotional journey. I found this one in Kroger's while I was waiting for my prescription, and I just came about it. It has a lot of good material in there that helps us to heal. And then what I really like about it, how it closes out in prayer. And in the prayer, it says the healing journey. You are vulnerable to God because of who you are. He finds you absolutely breathtaking and beautiful. The Bible says you were fearfully and wonderfully made. One way you practice the fear of the Lord is believing what He says above all other voices. When we truly revere God, it does not mean we starkly stand back from Him. Shuddering in the dread, the fear of the Lord produces a new value of his word. When we awe him, we awe his word. When we awe his word, we consider what he says to be absolutely life-defining for us. So start stepping into a new dimension of the fear of God by believing wholeheartedly what he says about you. He sees you as beautiful. So that's some of the, give you a little taste about what's in that book, Women That Are Healed and Whole, a 90-day devotional journey. So that is one of the books. So this second book, you guys, I also found this in Kroger, and as I was waiting for a prescription, and not only did, well, it captured my eye from the colors, and I was like, ooh, that's a bright color. What is that? So I was automatically drawn to that, and then I had about maybe 10 minutes to wait for my prescription, so I was able to read at least 3 chapters or so that's in it. And it's a woman's guide to a spiritual warfare, how to protect your home, family, and friends from spiritual darkness. And it is by Corinne Shearer and Ruthin Gorlock. The first book, Women That Are Healed and Whole, and 90-day devotion, is by B.D. So this one is by Corinne Shearer and Ruthin Gorlock. And it's a really, really good book. It speaks about different things. The fight for your family is one thing. The mind is a battlefield, another thing. There is no formula. And then it also ends with prayer as well. Prayer for a believing husband, prayer for an unbelieving husband, avoiding temptation, extended mercy, like the power of many prayers, the wisdom of a mother. It has so many good things. Chapter 9, fight for your children. So I think this book is very, very beneficial for all that will read it. And like I said, I got this at Kroger. I'm pretty sure if you put the title into Google, it will pop up on different ways to purchase that book. So this is the newest book, you guys, that we added in. So keep a watch out for that too, okay? Our next book, Successful Women Think Differently, 9 Habits to Make You Happier, Healthier, and More Resilient. And this is by Valerie Burton. And what I like about her, and this is from 5 and Below. What I like about her is she's a certified personal and executive coach. And since I started my journey on the life coaching, I am a certified life coach in 4 different areas and a certified counselor. But I am still learning and getting my feel for that particular area. So when I seen that, I really loved it, so I had to get it. Valerie Burton, and she speaks really good too. Her philosophy was, if it doesn't work out, I'll try something else, but why not go for what I really want first? And it's funny, when I just opened this book, I actually highlighted that part, and it kind of it goes along with what we were just saying, right? Not settling for a bare minimum, going after our dreams and goals. If it doesn't work out, I'll try something else, but why not go for what I really want first? And it's funny how I highlighted that. So she has a lot of good things in here as well. Practical ways to build positive emotion, building an emotional bank account, cultivating positive emotion, personal coaching, how to think differently. So the power of sticking to it. She has a lot of great things in this as well. Her book is called Successful Women Think Differently, 9 Habits to Make You Healthier and More Resilient by Valerie Burton. So all of these books, if you guys are interested, they are, and I will repost in our social media. But if you guys have another book that you guys want to share with us, you can do so by calling in real quick, 563-999-3642. And you guys can also email me at hostginacherie@gmail.com. Okay, so our last book, and this book is also coming from Five and Below. I think I need to stay out of Five and Below. What do y'all think? This one is the Open Focus Life, practices to develop attention and awareness for optimal well-being. And this is by PhD Susan Shore. I'm going to horribly mess up this last name, you guys, so I'll just spell it out for you. Fehmi. And this is also with Mark Beauregard, Beauregard. And this book is really good as well. Powerful techniques to improve your attention and life-changing skills to increase your sense of well-being and effectiveness. How you pay attention affects every moment of your conscious life. So learning how to be flexible with your focus can profoundly change how you respond to everyday challenges. Dr. Les Fehmi and Susan Shore. Fehmi, pioneers in the biofeedbacks, have spent decades developing and applying these methods to clients in their private clinical practice. In the Open Focus Life, they coach you through common everyday stressors and show you how to shift out of the modes of attention that exacerbates negative feelings into modes of calm and balance. These quick practical techniques will improve how you feel in your body, how you relate to people at work and at home, and how you interact with your everyday environment to achieve a more relaxed life, more effective habits. All right, so that is the Open Focus Life, practices to develop attention and awareness for optimal well-being. That is 4 out of the 5. Now, once I get the 5th book, I don't know where I put it, you guys, but it's Xenia Glass is the name of that, the 5th author, and her book is incredible, and she really gives an account of her walk, her journey with God, and her marriage, and just raising her family, and how that reconnection with God worked for her, and the obstacles that she went through that brought her back to her walk with God, and how it made her stronger, how it made her more attentive to God's word and to walk in His alignment. So her name is Xenia Glass. I'm really trying to think of the title right now, but I will find that and I will post it. But it is Xenia Glass is her name. And you guys, I read a lot of passages from her book in previous episodes. So if you follow the show, you'll hear a lot of her book in there. And then we started implementing other books. So I do like the fact that we can find different ways and from different perspectives and learning tools to help us with our journey. So that's why we have our books here. I think that's it, you guys. Like, we went over a lot of things in past episodes, things that we have talked about, things that you can find on my channel and my show. I'm all about growth, and I'm all about living our best lives, as some of our young folks would say, living our best life. Because life be life, right? My daughter be saying that all the time. Let me make sure this orange juice is orange, or whatever she says. But life be life in us sometimes, and we need some encouragement, and we also need to learn how to encourage ourselves. So I'm hoping that my message that I am trying to give you guys, I'm hoping that it is clear, and I'm hoping that you guys can receive it. But I also love the feedback, and I want you guys to be able to interact while we're doing the show, whether we're live here in the studio, whether you're listening from the podcast, or however you guys are tuning in. I would love the feedback, and One thing that I like about being on an internet platform is that it reaches so far. The boundaries are unlimited, right? So I really do like that. And I want to learn from all of you, and I want to have your perspective and have some of the tools that you guys have used along your journey to help you heal and to help you grow. May have millions of books that I haven't even begun to touch on that can help us. So don't hesitate to come on in and join the conversations. You can also sign up to be a guest on the show if you're interested in doing that. It is all on my website, GinaCherie.com is where you can sign up for that. And leave me an email. I will respond in the same day. When we are live in the studio, you can call in and be part of the conversation like that as well. 563-999-3642 is the call-in number. That's all we have for you guys today. I thank you guys so much for tuning in and giving me a little bit of your time. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. I'm about to get up and get myself going. It looks like I have to be mommy and nurse. You guys know how that is when you are a parent. Seems like my teenager is not feeling too well for the weekend, so got to go and make sure she is good, right? She's number one priority. So I'm going to go and do that. With her not feeling too good, her stomach feels well enough to ask me to make her some grits. So I'm going to go ahead and tackle that as well. But you guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Let's see. Oh, before I let you guys go, I want you guys to... your girl started her YouTube, and you know I've been putting that off forever and ever and ever, and so I finally did that. But I need y'all to pray for me because I'm not big on YouTube, but everybody keeps saying it might help, so we'll see. But I want you guys to go and follow the YouTube, www.youtube.com/@CoachGinaCherie. And you guys can also listen to, if you guys can't catch the live show, you guys can head over to the podcast, and that can be heard on anchor.fm/Gina764, or on TuneIn, also on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, and I don't know how this one became really big, but my show is really big on Alexa. It's like the main streaming outlet for people to listen to my show, according to my analytics, is Alexa. And if you just type in the Daily Dose with Life Coach Gina Cherie, everything will pop up. You guys can also listen on my website at GinaCherie.com. And that's it, you guys. Let's wrap this up. Have a wonderful Saturday, and I will see you guys next Saturday, every Saturday at 10:30 Eastern Time on blogtalkradio.com/GinaCherie. Until then, you guys, love somebody, hug somebody, and encourage somebody. This is your life coach and your host, Gina Cherie.
You may never need to walk through our door, but if you do, you may need more than just advice. You're hurt and scared, but I want you to know that you can talk to us about anything. We will get to know you so that we can tell your story together. We will stand with you every step of the way as your attorneys, and we will always have your back, no matter what. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family.
Call 1-800-500-5555. 12016 Abercorn Street, Savannah, Georgia.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.